Hi, I'm Johnny from Johnny's Vintage Motorcycle Company. We're looking for a project to do, and I think I'm going to try a KZ900. I dug up a chassis at home that it looks pretty good with a title. And a long time ago, my father went to Tennessee for me to drop off some stuff. And in the meantime, we had a guy that sold us this 76 KZ900A. The bike was made in 7 of 75, so I would make it a KZ900A. So we've not really tried to do anything with it for some time. And like I said, I have a rolling chassis at home that's been dying for one of these motors for a long time. This looks pretty good. I've got a nice wiring harness. I've got the hazard switch that goes on the handlebars. This is 76 only. The frame is bent on this motorcycle badly. It's bent. As you can see down the, it's just twisted. And we may have to cut the frame to get the motor out. I don't know. It's been some kind of accident. But it's a miracle that it doesn't have any broken fins that we can see. Now, we've not tried to turn this motor over to see if it runs or not, or even turns over. As you can see, it's missing a dyno cover, and most likely we probably stripped this thing for parts over the years. But now times have changed a little bit, and we're going to wheel this thing out and take a look at it. And one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to make sure the motor turns over. So this is part one of our KZ900 warehouse project.
This is the bike we found in the back. We want to make sure the motor turns over because we're going to get it running and what have you. So the first thing I want to make sure is the motor turns over. So it does turn over, so that's a good thing. So we'll go from there and get it out of the frame, get it in another frame, and see if we can't get it running.
The reason why we got it, I never saw a frame hit like this before. This is all bent and twisted right here. And if you come to the other side, you can see where it's also been bent and twisted right here. This bar should be straight, where now it's bent in like that. We don't have any idea how many miles are on the bike, as everything is gone from it. But I will make sure it runs perfect and stuff, and then we'll go from there. Okay, this is the frame that I want to put the warehouse bike in. As you can see, it's pretty good shape. The guy that I got it from, actually I bought it from an estate. They kind of painted over a bunch of stuff, like this is all painted nuts and painted this and painted that, and they painted the springs and they painted the bolts here, and we had got brake fluid leaking all over the place, down onto the forks and stuff. Kind of got to the tank. So what we're going to do is we're going to really give this thing a serious detail. We're going to get rid of all the stuff that doesn't belong on it, and we're going to make it 100%, well, not 100%, but close to a period correct piece that we can do. And we have some very nice parts here. So one of the things that I want to change on here is the backing plate here for the brakes. This is 7475Z1. It had the warning sticker here, where 76 was raised up right here in this area. So I'm going to change that around. I'm going to put all of our replated stuff on here, and I made the shock bolts, and I'm going to clean all this up and put all replated stuff on, and we're going to make it a nice detailed bike. So if you come around to the front of the motorcycle, you can see where we've kind of degreased it. It was really greasy, so we kind of degreased it. However, we run into some snags. We have a hole right here where the exhaust studs go on. We do make the exhaust studs for these bikes. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the motor out of the frame. We're going to put this upside down, and we're going to have a helo probably weld this back up, tap it, fix this one. I think we have a broken one in here. It's kind of gooned. And we're just going to kind of go over one. This one's snapped off. So we're going to put new studs in here. And if you see my fingernail here, you can see I'm still scraping some stuff. So we're going to try to detail the motor, but I don't want to scratch the motor. We're going to try to get some more grease off. We've put a dummy cover on the outside here and another one over here to keep the water out of it. And we've also plugged off a bunch of holes so we can keep the water out of it. It was missing the clutch push rod and stuff, so we kind of put the new used clutch push rod in there just to keep the water from them. So what we're going to do, this is our goal. We're going to pull this engine out, but as we're doing it, we're going to take this hardware and we're going to put it in the chassis behind over here. So we're going to have all the right spacers, all the right wiring, all the nice rubber stuff. Everything is going to be mated from this chassis to that chassis. And then once we start on here, we've got a lot better look at this. As you can see, we put a replated fender bracket here for the rear fender. And the original, or the bracket that was on here was from a Z1, not a KZ. So we're going to make this pretty much correct motorcycle. And we're going to get rid of the painted sprocket, the painted axle. We're going to get the chrome shock springs to appear again, get this paint off. I'm going to try to make it look pretty good and presentable. And I think we've got a good thing to go here. I have another body set. We're going to figure out what the deal is here. This might not even be a Kawasaki master cylinder. Kind of resembles a Suzuki in a way, but we'll figure it out. So we're going to clean all this up, make it nice, and then we're going to go from there. So. Okay, here's our KZ900 project bike that we got from the back of the shop. If you notice, if you come to the back here, we're assembling the rear wheel. Okay, we've installed our shock bolts that we make. All this hardware here is replated. All this is replated. This is all replated. We cleaned this up a little bit and we replated these the stoppers here and what have you. And then we've also cleaned all this up with replated stuff, as well as we've cleaned up the wheel and what have you. We added a grab bar, which we found. We have the fender bracket right here that holds the fender to the frame from the bottom. So this has been replated. And then we also fixed up some replated nuts and bolts here. We're actually holding this on. And underneath the fender, you can also see some stuff. The bike now has a stock inner fender. They call it a front fender. It has the decal, what have you. Then if we go to the swing arm bolt, you can see we have a replated swing arm bolt. The cap nuts and washers have been replated. New filter. And this goes right here. So what we're going to do is, when we put the pins back in, we're going to have a cadmium plated pins right here for the foot pegs and what have you. As we go, we'll show you. This is original paint stuff right here that we're going to put for the rear motor mount. And you've got the rubber band here where the tubes go through for the carburetor overflow. That's all pretty good, and we're going to keep it all nice original stuff here. Now, if you notice the motor, we've cleaned up the motor a lot. And if you come to the front of the head here, you can see where we've repaired the head and used our exhaust studs that we make. We put some different cam cover bolts here, and we're going to change the plugs and stuff as we go. I'll probably clean this up a little bit. So we have the point cover here. It's on just for GP, general purposes, because we scrubbed the motor down and we just want to plug off everything. So as you can see, we have cork plugs and stuff inside the heads here. So if you come to the other side of the motorcycle, you can see also we have the replated nuts and washers over here, and we put a really nice nut right here because the guy painted everything and I didn't like painted parts. So you can see there's a replated sprocket on the back. These are the kit that we make right here, these locks and the nuts. And these are replated studs that come through the inner side. we came up with a nice set of used genuine shocks, which are getting hard to find. So as we move along, you can see basically what we've done is the swing arm back. We're going to put different chain guard bolts here and stuff, what have you. We have some nice replated ones. And if you look at the swing arm axle here, you can see where we put replated caps on the end right here. They're all greasy now from assembly, but this is all nice redone stuff. If you come to here, well, this is just temporary here because we were washing the motorcycle. The bike is actually missing in the stator and what have you, but we're going to go there. And this was just a cover we found that's kind of ground up, but we're going to fix that up a little bit. So this is kind of where we're at with it right now. We're going to put probably a different bolt right here, maybe a different spring right here because of the painting. We want to add nice detail to the machine. So this is all nice. Got a nice drain plug in it and everything. So we're going to finish this up. As you can see right here, normally the turn signal stems go through here. So this is not correct. We're going to put the stems that go through there with the turn signals. And this lever assembly right here, this is off of something earlier because the 900 cow should be thick right here, where this is the thin. So we'll explain that all to you later as we go. We're going to clean all this up and see where we're at. It's got decent Dunlop tires on it. But also we have an issue here. If you look, you can see where someone painted this black. These are anodized originally. So the brake fluid came down and kind of gooned that up. And then you can see also the brake fluid came out of the master cylinder right here. I'm not sure what this is all about. This was not stock for KZ900. It's got the larger lid. And I don't know if this is a 5/8 one or a standard one, but we'll address that. And also if you come to here where the handlebars mount, you can also see where the fluid is dripped down the handlebar and came into the upper triple clamp. So we're going to take all this and do something with it. I don't know what. But anyway, this is why we insist on using .5 brake fluid, because if a part ever goes bad or something and the .5 fluid leaks out, it's not going to destroy the paint as the .3 and .4. So that's just what we prefer. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about a common problem that the Z1 900s have and the KZ900s, what have you. Kawasaki had the same basic setup, as far as I know, from 73 to 80. And what happens is you have the cover that goes on here like this. Okay, we take the cover off, and usually there's an oil leak. As you see some oil coming out right there, it's almost directly below the bike. Notice my oil my fingers here a little bit. So there's a cure for that. Years ago, when we bought, if we wanted to buy this rubber connection here, this is the plug that goes from here to the inside. Okay, like so. This goes in the groove. See how it's slotted? Okay. So, well, it is a good fit. I can pull it out of there. Well, anyway, this part we get from Japan from the Dormy collection. And what it is, like I was saying, years ago, if you wanted this plug right here, you had to buy this whole outfit because this was a part of this. Well, they've created this rubber here that is usually is a fix for this issue. So what you're going to need to pursue this is obviously the gasket here. We import these from Japan also, from the Dormy collection. Now the wires, we've been converting the wires right here, and this is a stator out of a cover that we had laying around. So anyway, someone has already made the splice here, and what you do is you have to use 16 gauge wire right here because it fits perfect in these holes, absolutely perfect. You want a nice tight fit. So what we do is we're using the 16 gauge wire, and we're using plastic wire, the plastic shield. So you put it in there like so and make your connections. And usually this is gonna cure the problem. And actually every motor that we rebuild, we do install that unit. And this has already been cleaned, but what happens is the guys will take and they'll gob the silicone and stuff and get the silicone in here. This all kind of goes back into the motor because this is all running the motor oil. So it's very important that this is cleaned. We still have some cleaning to do on this. But we always have these items here in stock, ready for shipping anytime you need them. Okay, we're taking some more steps to building this Kawasaki KZ900 warehouse bike. So we just wanted to, we put a few gauges together out of some gauges. We don't know the actual mileage because we're putting the bike together out of parts, but mostly genuine style parts. So we have the gauges. As I said before, 76 and up had the white inlay right here at the meters. You've got the right red line at 9,000 RPM. And to dress it up, we've got some nice chrome covers on it, give it a little period look. Also, I want to talk about this lever assembly. As you can see, it's real thick right here. Okay. Then, as you can see right here, there's no switch here. Usually, like in 77, they started out with a switch that went down into the wiring harness for a safety switch. So you had to have the clutch pulled in for the bike to start. So 76 did not have that. So this is going to be a correct part for the 76. Also, if you notice, it's got the same adjuster as the Z1 here, but the nut right here is larger. That came up because they had the big space right here. Last but not least, we have original grips here. I always like the original grips. I don't like the foam and stuff because it usually deteriorates. And this will give the bike some nice character. So this is like 1 inch on the side here and 7/8 right here. So this will obviously be the left, this will be the right. And we're trying to redo the bike with genuine cables. So here's a tachometer cable that we dug up. So I'm gonna try to put all genuine cables on it if all possible to make it look like an unrestored bike. And luckily we found one emblem. These are hard to find, the side cover emblems. So we'll show you some more here soon. Thanks. Got some progress going here. We want to learn to make it look good, so we put all new screws in it with a polished dyno cover. I also have the polished sprocket cover that'll go on it. Plus, we're going to put this shield on it, which goes on them. This is a good part. It's a protector here. I got it the wrong way. But anyway, you get the adjust. It goes like that. So anyway, we got the front sprocket cover will be polished. We're going to put a nice cover on it here. I'll put a polished breather cover on it and a replated bolt. We have brand new intake manifolds for it. And we have this loom going into it where we've got a special grommet here to keep it from leaking oil. We make a new loom here. And this is going to go into a solid state regulator rectifier that we're going to put underneath the battery box. You notice we have a new kickstart cover, or polished kickstart cover. It's this one right here. Notice the difference here. I'm going to dress it up a little bit. And then we also have a polished clutch cover we're going to put on it. And then we're going to see about maybe putting a new inner cover on it and a new outer cover just to dress it up a little bit. So we're hoping to have all this done today. Then we have the carburetors are rebuilt, ready to go. These are all clean and we tested them on another motorcycle. So this is all good. So I just want to show you some of our progress on the bike. Powder coated lower triple clamp and upper triple clamp with our special bolts that we make. I'm going to test these bearings to make sure they're good
If they're not good, then I'm going to put the tapered bearings in them. So I hope you like what you see so far. It takes time to do these. Also, this bracket here for supporting, I put a powder coated one on with new bolts today. So we're looking pretty good. Everything's working out pretty good. So I hope you like it. Okay, I thought I'd show you something else. We got to take this foot peg and stuff back off. But after we put the chain on it, then this is going to be the polished cover that goes behind it. This is all correct for 76 KZ900. Of course, we're going to put a new oil filter in it. And this is the new, or it's a polished teardrop cover that goes over here. Just like so. This is nice stuff. Then I import these from Japan. This is the clutch cover. Got the spring on it and stuff. So this will be the clutch cable we're going to use for it. It comes from an outfit called Dormy. They're in Japan. They're kind of expensive, but I got to have the best. Okay, we have a new DID chain made in Japan. This is good stuff. Then we have a new chain guard. I also import these from Japan. This is all top of the line stuff. This is going to be a good motorcycle. Fresh out of the box just for you. It's exact replica of the exact chain guard that these came with when they were new. There's other chain guards out there like a chrome and stuff. I don't carry them, but this will be nice. If you come back here, you can see where this goes right here, just like so. And then these are the bolts that we make for the chain guard. They're made here in the States, so this is cool. So I hope you like what you see so far, and we'll talk to you about it as we go. We've got these covers off right now, and there's a reason why we always pull the clutch basket off. See all the goop and muck and residue down here? So what we're forced to do now is that we found this. We're gonna take the oil pan off and clean it up too. And also, for whatever reason, we had some broken clutch plates. Don't know what happened here. So what we're gonna do is I've got brand new clutch plates for it. And these are a good quality one. They're called Vezra. They're made in Japan. And they come in this box here. This is brand new stuff. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bead blast these tomorrow. They look like they're good. See how we got the dots on them still? So that means they're not worn. So what we're gonna blast them. And then we're gonna check them to see if they're warped or not. So another setback, but it just takes time to do these right. Then we got a little bit of rust on the points here and stuff. So I'm gonna change this inner cover here and the screws so it matches the outer cover that we're getting ready to put on, this cover down here. So I'm gonna come up with the inner point housing, then I'm gonna come up with a nice outer point housing so it makes it all uniform. And then after we change the oil pan gasket, then we should be able to get her fired up. Okay, we got some other issues here, and I just wanted to show the detail that we do on these motorcycles when we do them. This KZ900 battery box is kind of hard to find. I didn't realize it, and it only fits 76, 77 KZ900A, as well as 76 900 LTD. So my catastrophe here was the bottom of the box is rotten out. This is from battery acid right here. This is why we always recommend a battery with a sealed one now. We don't like the vented tubes anymore. This is what happens when people don't route the tube. Okay, so here's where we're at on this, as you can see, side by side. This is still a little wet because we just painted it. Now, the other catastrophe I had, and I'm going to tell you why people do this. If you notice right here at the top, you got these brackets right here, and you got this bar right here. This is one piece right here. This is all welded to the bracket itself. This is the whole battery box. This piece right here is missing on this one. You can see the tabs where it's been cut off. So the reason why someone did that was they probably just wanted to hurry up and jimmy a new battery in it or something like that. So they probably cut the top off just to shove in a battery in it that wasn't the correct battery. So this is just one of the extra things that we do to everything to make sure it's correct. So this is now scrap, but now we got a good one. So onward with the project. As you can see, we put the polished kickstart cover on. We got the clutch cover back on with all the new plates in it and stuff. Put a polished inner point housing on it. We're going through the points right now. Pulled the point cam out, serviced the spark advance and everything, and made up a nice wiring harness to go from the points to the wiring harness. So this is all going to be nice here. So we're servicing the points and what have you right now. Also, I came up with a nice starter cover, no pitting, a new starter cover gasket, and we got NOS bolts for it, genuine Kawasaki. Here's our 76 KZ900, what we call the warehouse bike. Coming to the front here, it has a nice chrome front fender. We have just installed a new master cylinder using .5 fluid. It's got the new boot here with the ribs. We have new fork bearings, the steering stem bearings inside here. New fork seals, new fork dust cover seals, new fork oil. The caliper has been rebuilt with a new bleeder screw, nice bolts. This is our added touch here. We make this mount kit here at Johnny's. This is the caliper mount kit. This is a genuine Kawasaki new screw kit here with the rubber seal behind it. This is where you drain the fluid if you're not taking a motorcycle apart. Has a replated front axle, axle nuts, axle spacer on the other side. Then we've got the gauges on it, what have you. It's got a powder coated lower triple clamp, and the gauges have the chrome covers. It's got a new clutch cable. If you come to this side of the motorcycle, we're still in the process of doing all this. It has new handlebar bolts, which we make. The bolt here, which goes through the upper triple clamp. This stuff here is replated, the dust shield, the jam nut. Still has the genuine four-way flasher here, which was 76 only. Goes up and down. Later, they wound up putting it on the switch itself. Here's your new master cylinder. Gorgeous, gorgeous new switches. These are a little earlier style switches, but they add such a nice touch to it. This is like stock for 73, early 74. And then it's going to have a set of genuine grips for it. The polished covers, many new bolts, new intake manifolds, polished covers. We just added a center stand to it. We're going to put some more stuff on here we'll show you later. The new chain guard. The wiring has all been gone through. The wiring is perfect on the motorcycle. Foot pegs are great. All the replated hardware back here and what have ya. It's got a new taillight wiring harness that goes underneath the motorcycle. You've got the replated
bracket right here. The shocks are nice. On this side you can see the replated axle nut, the replated chain adjusters and what have you. It's got the stock toolbox on it where the side cover bolts to it. Also, this is a very, very, very hard to find item here that many of these bikes are missing. If you go to, this is the bracket that holds the side cover on, as well as the battery door. Many of these are missing, mainly because what happens is it's kind of an oddball battery that this takes. And if you look at this battery box, you've got all the tabs up here. Usually all the battery boxes are cut right here because someone always jammed in the wrong battery. This is going to have the correct Yuasa battery for it. So that's going to be a nice added touch. Then you can see the polished covers here and what have you. We have in the box a new Vance & Hines 4-in-1 header, which we're going to put on it. Still got to put some cables on it and what have you. But it's coming together. Okay, here's our warehouse bike. We're getting ready to start it up. Got the gas on. Key is on. We got some starter clutch issues, which we could probably fix that, I would imagine. There we go. Smoking, that's a good sign. It's about 15 degrees outside. Where we're at here is the bike is basically all done. We had talked about the rear wheel being wobbling. Well, it turned out the rim was bent. So we wound up putting new spokes and a new rim on it. And of course, new bearings, hubs polished. So the rear wheel's done. And next we have the paint. This paint, we had Kenny taking the stripes off with it so we can get that stripe with the genuine style Kawasaki decal kit. We have a guy in the United Kingdom, his name is Rick Brett. And he makes the kit for the striping. So this bike will look like the stock paint. The color is really close, but we took off the gold pinstriping that was on it. So the body parts are super, super nice. So we're having the seat redone right now as we speak. I bought a really, really, really nice seat cover for it. The foam's perfect. We had the seat powder coated, and some of the stuff is just like totally luscious here. For the these are the hinges and stuff that we have for it. It's going to have the correct hinges. It's going to have the correct seat pins. This is nice stuff. And then we have a absolute gorgeous seat catch. This goes into the lock right here. And the lock's missing. We got to come up with a lock for it. That shouldn't be any problem. So we just kind of wanted to show you where we're at with it. And like I said, the paint will be ready. Everything works. Now we still have salt on the roads and stuff right now, so we're not going to go out and test drive it. It would just defeat the whole purpose of having a nice bike. So what we're going to do is we should have the paint back from the painter. We're going to have the painter put the stripes on it because we don't do that here. So we're going to have the paint back. We should have the seat back soon, and this should be ready to go. Probably another week or so here. Okay, we're just about done with the warehouse bike. it's just so amazing what can happen when you start putting a bunch of stuff together and going into parts books and making sure everything is correct and all that. This is a fairly correct KZ900A. Basically, it's got all the right stuff on it, with the exception of the air box and the Vance & Hines pipe. We did buy a seat cover for it that is the original style for 76. We wound up putting these stripes on the tank. Rick Brett sells these, and we purchased them from him. It looks pretty cool. And then we also up front, we have the new decal on the fork. Some of the highlights on the bike are, we got the original grips, little bit earlier style switches, got the chrome covers on the meters, we got the 4-way flasher switch. So it's really been going through from the swing arm to the rear axle to the front axle, and it's all pretty decent shape. We've got over here on this side, we got a Pingle petcock. We put the custom air cleaners on it. The covers are polished on it. All in all, this is a pretty cool bike. Paint's got some scratches on it here and there from the shelf life. When I got it originally had gold stripes on the tank. We took those off, and I probably had this paint job for probably 10-12 years at least, and we just thought that if we put the original stripes on it, it'd be more appealing. So we're going to take it out for a test drive. It's 70 degrees in Ohio today. It's fantastic. So I'm going to take it for a ride, and I'll see how it goes, and I want to make sure everything's working cool. So thanks a lot for looking at this.
One question. Why Pingle petcock?
I got the Pingle petcock on because we've had very, very bad luck rebuilding the petcocks that were on them, the stock ones. These bikes only used to be worth maybe $1,000 or so. Now they're getting worth a lot of money, and I think the last thing you want to have happen is a fire or something like that. So these flow pretty good, and we offer a 1-year warranty with these when we sell them. On this Pingle petcock, all the way here is off. You come over to the middle, it says reserve, and this is on. I like to run them on reserve just because I'm superstitious. I think that's the best thing to do, and what I've been doing forever. So anyway, you turn her on. Choke is up like that. So when the choke is up like that, the choke is on. And if we go down with the lever, it's off. Giving a little bit of time to fill the bowls. So here we go. The bike sounds really nice. I gotta put a set of mirrors on it before I take it out. So I'm gonna go up to the driveway and back and see how it is. Just like butter. It's nice. Very nice shifting bike. Turn safety good. How about a headlight? The headlight? High and low? I think it's a very nice bike. Still put a set of mirrors on it, and I'm going to take it for a test drive. Notice I pull the clutch in, it shifts absolutely perfect. Low flat out and try it. I think it feels like it's a really good bike. It feels nice and strong. No smoke. Okay, we're going for a test drive here. We'll go put some gas in it, top it off, and see what's happening. Okay. Try a KZ900. A KZ900.